Mix 1 part vocals and instruments from southern India with an equal part of a Spanish guitar ensemble. Add classical Indian dance and spice with flamenco. Stir thoroughly to create a tasty new stew called Unraveling Rhythms.
Flamenco kind of has a little bit of an influence from India through the gypsies that traveled up from the, the west and the north.
Chicagoan Siri Santi began learning classical South Indian dance more than 20 years ago. Then, on a trip to Seville, Spain in 2000, Santi immediately recognized the similarities between Indian and flamenco dance. When she returned to Chicago, Santi wanted to learn more. She found Wendy Clenard, and they began comparing notes.
There are very apparent stylized qualities that are shared, like splayed fingers, deep-seated pliés, percussive use of the feet. And we just kept penetrating, things that were similar, things that were different. Impetuses to move or impetuses to stay. So we took that as the jumping off point.
You jumped off from that exploration to create something new.
That's right.
But as the dancers developed this new piece, they found a different way of relating to their own dance traditions.
The work really represents a personal journey for me, starting from something that's rooted in tradition, that for years has become, in a sense, almost static, almost sculptural, very set, and making that more dynamic so that it's relevant to the current time.
We're respecting those traditions. We're saying that's where all our rigor comes out of, all our foundation.
It's bringing together cultures so that tradition is not a constraint for engagement of cultures, but is a springboard through which we can have this common dialogue.
Adding a little flavor to this mix is the sound of classical Indian songs combined with music from the guitars of Spain.
I had collaborated with them in the traditional aspect of flamenco, and then Carlo had been to India. We had all traveled to India, and he has always had a world influenced aspect to when he composes, and so him naturally was a good choice to say, would you commission him to do the last composition for the work.
I have a lot of these musical materials from studying Spanish guitar, and then you go to India and maybe study a little bit with a sitar player and maybe get together with some gypsies on the street corner, and you kind of put it all together, listen to your tape recorder, and before you know it, you go, oh, here's a piece of music.
How long did it take for you to write this piece?
I kind of wrote sections of it on the plane, on the way there and on the way back, and then I got together with Satya, who's the Indian singer, and we took some of what they call raga or scales, and we put a few scales together, and I would say over the course of 2 months it came together.
Another ingredient in this spicy performance is a video of black and white ink drawings. These images serve as a transition from the classical dance to the meeting of the two cultures. Seems to me, in the best sense of the word, to be a world collaborative.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that flamenco music from the south of Spain, just given the people that came and went to Andalusia in the south there, created flamenco as what I call it the first world music, just because so many different cultures had an influence.
So world music isn't really anything new.
And I think it's kind of a hip term that everybody uses now, but I think that, if your definition is a number of cultures had a hand in it, like my friend Richard Brunet says, music doesn't have DNA. So we really can't say for sure, but we have a pretty good idea where these things come from.
For Chicago Tonight, I'm Fawn Ring.